Hello and welcome to another Best Junglers episode, this one for patch 13.1 and the first of season 13. And with that has come a huge meta shift in terms of win rates and play rates and data and who was taken out back and who was propelled to the front. We will go over the best junglers for every single rank, including low and high MMR, and which ones you should use for your placements to really try and go for that 10-0 if you haven't already achieved it. Although I did release short form content already on the channel explaining how to best maximize your placements. But if you want the best champion data and builds and counters and everything you need to get through this season, Mobalytics is here to help. Much like our redesigned jungle, Mobalytics app has been redesigned to give you all of the best information that you need to thrive before, during, and after game. While Riot did remove scouting, Champ Select has been redesigned to give you all of the information on the champions on your team and on the enemy team so you can know which team is stronger, along with gold leads and insane informational trackers in the overlay. You can keep track of your progress in-game to help you hit the targets you need to win. The power spike notifications in-game will mean you never have to worry about messing up again. Leona 6, Roman gank it. Nocturne 6, don't over push and dive. And so you know ADCs need this, but you know what? They're not gonna use it, which means you can use it and then counter gank and obliterate the enemy jungler. The brand new Mobalytics app has everything you need to improve in Season 13 League of Legends. Click the link in the description below to download and become Ascended. Right, let's go onto the S tier page, and Maokai should be at the top, but I'm putting Sylas at the top because most people are just playing him wrong, and at the same time his play rate is kinda astronomical. The problem here lies with a very strong potent fighting champion, and then people who can't reconcile their farming with their ganking. I've already made said video for Season 13, you can go ahead and watch it, but if you're 5 camping with Sylas and going into the field with half HP, obviously you're not going to have the best success with your ganks and your scuttle fistings. Instead, you should look to chain together some more aggressive early clears and patterns in order to get yourself that snowball. Remember, once you get that Night Harvester, once you get, max rank W 5-second cooldown without haste, you will be utterly decimating the entire map with ease. The champion is still strong. Don't let the win rate misguide you, as it does with so many. You can't just look at win rates and player rates and be like, this is the reality. No, you have to interpret and contextualize everything. And on that note, yes, Sylas is absolutely busted. Go forth, kill everyone, scale into the night, and snowball with ease. How about that? We didn't even talk about the sustain, but on the note of sustain, Maokai has some, but that's not why he's so absolutely turbo astro broken. It's because his AP ratios are actually kind of nutty, and shifting that HP plus AP to that E scaling and having max HP on his Q, which we max to clear the jungle, means that his damage spike is coming online sooner. And because we can just auto attack after using spells to get some heal back, and our W is also point and click, everything is pretty straightforward in terms of engaging and dishing out the damage. The saplings and the bushes are going to do their work, not like back in Season 7 when they were full AP, but definitely more than enough. Lockdown for about 1800 years, the absolute easiest gank you've ever seen, and with Phase Rush or Aftershock as your choice, I did the Phase Rush, you can go in, unload your damage, sprint out, reposition, and then do it all again. Not to mention that of course now we can clear a little bit faster thanks to that newfound Q damage, and the Season 13 jungle is just looking absolutely primed for this tree. What they need to do is remove the damage profile from the rest of his kit, such that you can actually play him tank, which is what I prefer, but hey, he pretty much counters everything, so play this, win, get LP, enjoy it. Next up, we have the Deer, and this guy is still gonna run around and do the Demonics Embrace Phoenix W Jack Show kind of build, and yeah, he's not gonna have the same benefits from the Jack Show from a fighter standpoint, but of course when you're building tank, you're getting those bonus resistances on Jack Show, and thus the scaling for him as a tanky boy is definitely going to be better. That's because the bonus resistances from Force of Nature and your Frozen Hearts and whatever else you might want to go in that arena is going to directly benefit you for your drain tankage as well as your tankiness. And the Q-Max nerfs apparently have hit a little bit harder than a lot of us thought they would, although it is still something you can viably choose as a playstyle, but the win rate is nowhere near as good as your de facto Demonics Embrace Jack Show build path, and as such, you will have to decide your playstyle, but obviously, tankiness will reign supreme when you can farm and gank, secure objectives, and basically counter a lot of things that are quite irritating. Next up, we have Release, and in my OPS Plus builds video in December, I said, guys, Night Harvester is an absolutely loaded giga stacked item, and it's really good at any AP champion that can viably build it. Despite the memes that have come forth from the high elo pro play scene, this was a fact of nature. You have the numbers, you can look at the numbers, and you kind of put it all together and you're like, that's a good package. However, at least still was not really quote-unquote in the meta or quote-unquote viable in the meta. At the same time, my win rate data was still good. And this was back in Season 12, but for Season 13, as of that video, her play rate has gone sky high, her win rate's gone even higher. She's basically a more controlled, easier to play Sylas in that regard, but at the same time, she's still difficult to execute properly. Fluidity of animations, tower dives, mechanics, aggressive jungle pathing knowledge, Yes, we do have the pets, which help us clear a lot faster. Yes, we have the passive gold income, which of course is again something that allows us to farm a little bit more. But when you take the most legendary level 3 245 top lane ganking jungler, you give her good itemization, you give her good scaling, you give her safety to fall back to clears when she needs to, quadrant clearing, you're gonna have an absolutely total package crazy jungler for the meta, which is what we have. And the reason she goes above Echo here is while Echo is still absolutely amazing at snowballing, he lacks the early potency, and at the same time, if you can CC and burst Echo out before his ult is pressed, you kinda counter him. So you know at least things. While he does have the reset button, while he is still the counter ganking king, basically, it's going to be a little bit less influential early compared to your Silas, Maokai, and Elise, but we do have the ability to ramp up faster than they do. We do have the ability to go ahead of them in terms of snowball potential. Well, maybe not Silas, but it's close. And I've been saying this for months and months and months. I put Echo on these lists. His play rate is low. Finally, his play rate is going up to that 8-9% mark. Echo is your snowballing champion that won't be banned out. People will still not respect his E, not respect his W, not respect his ultimate. So essentially, they're going to complain about him, but it's within their power to do something about it. They just never ever do. Play Echo, you'll have fun, you'll win. Next up, we have Kindred, and of course, Kindred has been a top-tier champion for quite a long time. Most people on high elo are aware of this. Yes, they are more difficult to execute, and you do again require that aggressive jungle pathing, those invades, but you can, of course, have way more clear versatility now than you ever could in the past. This means when you kind of knew Kindred was going to do one of two things, now they could do a whole bunch of different things, including full clearing if they want to. And that's kind of scary when it comes to those delayed invades, not being able to buy control wood level 1, and for laners not understanding where exactly they're going to go first, versus just invading the enemy jungler. Good mechanics are required, good jungle pathing knowledge is required, good matchup knowledge is required in terms of your damage output, knowing exactly how far you can push the champion mechanically, being patient on your Q against things like Elise to avoid the cocoon, knowing when to use your E, knowing when to use your ultimate. These things come with time and practice. I've been coaching actually at Kindred for a while. He was a Wukong main at Platinum. We've spent the last 3 months focusing on Kindred, and I'm actually going to upload the coaching VOD to my coaching library in Virkayu.gg just now, so everyone can kind of observe this improvement over 3-4 months. I guess that's a lot of this S tier page, right? Good gankers, good aggressive junglers who also can now fall back to farming relatively well compared to how they could in the past, and so they're taking over. The same can be said for the beautiful lobby boy Zac, and you know, I don't have much to say about him other than Demonics Embrace Jack show full tank, even stronger, just like Maokai, except Maokai doesn't even build that, which is hilarious. I mean, you can, but full AP is just better. And Zac obviously has the ganks, the full clears, the clapping people together, bringing people together nicely with his Q, healing himself, the blobby passive to survive Giga dives. He is just such a great champion to main right. I'm not really going to look at him. They're going to nerf things like Maokai and Udius, but Zac will be eternal here. He is a new eternal best solo Q tank to main. Go ahead. And finally, we have Fiddlesticks, who should maybe be high, but I'm waiting to see if that 55%, that's right, win rate is really legitimate. Truly a unique champion for the time, something that Riot will always allow to exist. Again, great to main for that particular purpose. Full clears are still on the cards. And now we're going to have a slight turn on the corner of A tier page. And you will see Belveth, the Void Queen, is actually here. I'm reluctantly saying that because Demex, the rank 1 EU West Belveth player, comes into my Discord and says, you better put Belveth on the list. And then he spams a no void emote. I don't know. To me, Rek'Sai is still the queen, and look, she's fine to play, but obviously not in the same tier as the Belveth. Giga Snowball, Giga Aggressive, Quadrant, Full Clear 5 Camp, Herald, Snowball, Fishies, Reset, Healings, Positioning, Outplays, W Heads, Scaling, E, Damage Reduction. Did I list everything? Maybe I missed something, but as you can see, total package destroys the meta. But isn't, you know, as free as before. You do have to be slightly competent on the champion. She's still easy though. Next up we have Evelyn, another AP Queen Assassin, destroying from the camouflage in the background and not really actually being at the forefront. And again, has good data, but I don't really want a non-Evelyn main playing Evelyn. Because you have to think so differently when you have permanent camouflage, you need the positioning, you want to understand your damage output perfectly for the amplification damage on that ultimate, and ensuring you can actually reliably hit Qs to, you know, get the bonus damage proc. Overall, she's just carrying on in the baseline in the background, and with more squishy champions running around or champions that are not building fully tanky, her burst is something that doesn't allow the Jack Show to get set up. No Jack Show resistance is set up, free kills for Evelyn. Next we have Master Yi, the classic 9k gold by 14 minutes champion extraordinaire. Just put that gameplay on my gameplay channel if you want to see it. Classically titled with a contemporary vibe, Get Rich with Master Yi. That's because he's the best gold scaler in the game, so if you can figure out a decent path for your strategy, aggressive or fallback, you can get your 6 or 7 CSPM, get 5 plates somewhere, get 5 plates somewhere else, get the Herald. You are almost guaranteed to pop off. And again, it's all about the alpha timing, the W timing, and not getting CC'd around those two spells. And don't forget press E, right? True damage. Next, we have Graves, and again, win rate, play rate don't really look like something that's broken OP, but you take Canyon or take a good Graves play and say, I'm to challenger, they'll be able to do it. He is still the smooth operator, the jungle flow god, the map control counter jungling king. He will destroy you with every mistake you make, and with all these gankers in the game, not only will he make you poor by taking your entire jungle, he will show up eventually for counter ganks, and you will be like, wait, why is he 2 levels ahead? Next up, we have Hecarim, and again, I'm putting him here reluctantly because half of you Hecarim players have no idea how to itemize. Why do I see a 45% Ravenous Hydra Rush as the most picked item? Come on, guys. Right below that, we have, oh look, Fear of Shojin, 53% win rate. Why below that do I see a 46% win rate Divine Sundra, you know, right above a Duskblade that has a 52% win rate? The itemization here is causing most of you to just int this champion's win rate. The champion is strong, it's strong in the right hands. No, you cannot drool and run around like a tanky guy and do 1,000 damage a second while tanking 10,000 damage a second. You have to build more damaging, you have to build more rotation-y, you have to use your W properly. But if you do itemize correctly, you do play to the champion's strengths, the new strengths since the rework, you will absolutely make this win rate go up if you just start itemizing correctly and playing to the champion's newfound strengths. Same thing here with Diana, the win rate isn't that great, but honestly that's a lot to do with build variations and at the same time people not really maximizing her strengths. She is falling behind tempo a little bit, so make sure you're getting those counter ganks in and those level 6 ganks. Don't be roped into playing people's games, just play the Diana game, sequence properly, make sure you're scaling, get the 2 level leads. It's not going to be sexy, but you can definitely play against these hyper ganking metas. And on that note, yes, we have Nunu and Willump next, running up and down the rivers, enjoying the newfound tankiness that they're getting from the itemizations. At the same time also one-shotting people with full AP, you've got the Aftershock, you've got the Phase Rush, you have the options. Because we're seeing more ganking oriented champions, as you will notice from this list, he's just basically going, well, I'm actually the best at that, so you're gonna have to trail me and think about what you're gonna do next. And of course they don't, and you get ahead of the ganking tempo. Likewise, Night Harvester Nidalee, sure you can still rush the Lich Bane for your Giga Snowball, but Night Harvester is looking good on her. She loves the meta. What happens when you have a lot of ganking people in the meta and snowballing champions in the meta is that she basically goes, well, I actually do all of those things better. Yeah, I'm difficult to use, but I can full clear and counter gank and counter jungle, or I can do the ganking stuff myself also because I'm ranged. And then you go ahead and push the enemy jungle out of their jungle, you get a couple kills, you take all their camps, and now you have a 3-level lead. I mean, it's easier said than done, but she's essentially the epitome of the most difficult champion to snowball and control early games. But if that's the kind of meta we're in, she's gonna be good. And next up, we have the low elo page. You can see the Amumu absolutely dominating thanks to the Jack Show adjustments. We also have the Maokai destroying. You can obviously go to Monix Jack Show here as well if the full AP is too nuanced and kind of fluffy for you. And I've actually added the Amumu to my live companion guide, so I'll link that below as well. Mordekaiser are still supreme here, not really overall, but definitely great here. They finally fixed that passive bug. And obviously the Warwick and the Lily are specifically good in low elo, but you can use them all the way to Diamond Plus, no stress. They are also doing extremely well overall. High elo is an interesting one because Sylas should be on the list, and we all agree Sylas should be on the list, but then his win rate is like 45% despite being the most played. He's not having as much success in high elo as he is for the gem pop at the moment. Obviously still great to play. The thing is you have things like the Maokai, which he does kind of want to counter, but at the same time Maokai's just one-shotting everyone, so it doesn't matter. The rest should obviously make sense, but what's interesting is the success of the play rate and win rate of Rengar and Wukong. Not picks that we're gonna say are necessarily, hey look, these are the best things you can possibly play in high elo, but they are doing a good job with those who play the champion and main the champions and understand their position relevant to all the other ones that they're seeing most often. As long as you understand your champion enough to navigate the meta that surrounds you, to amplify your strengths, to mitigate your weaknesses and punish theirs, then you can always make anything work in high elo. It's just about the pilot issue and understanding of the game. And there you have it, the 13.1 patch with weird champions dominating, Mundo and Ramus taken out back apparently. Please rebuff them. And don't forget, if you hate all of these champions and want to counter them, I've made a total Bible counter guide A to Z, and that's linked on your top right.